We're here at the place that our people call Shushja, which means bear ears. And those are the two formations of the mesas behind me. And this area has a lot of history as a part of the Dinétah. This area extended up into the place that is now present-day Blanding and Monticello, Utah, all the way up to Moab and up into the Green River area. And so Dinétah was quite as extensive up in this part of the continent or the country that the Diné occupied many hundreds of years ago. The teachings of our people talk about this area here as having a lot of different medicines, herbs and that were available to the Diné. And herbs are actually trade items, various types of herbs and that could be found here in this area. And one of the stories is, of course, about the Batani Clan, the one with the folded arms, that they tucked their hands underneath their armpits, so they were called Batani. And one of their descendants, of course, is the man that went by his clan name, Batani, as well. His Spanish name was Manuelito. His Navajo name, he was called Hastings. Most people refer to him as Hastings. They eliminate that part of the name that is very important, which is And so the place that his clan families occupied was this surrounding area of the Bear's Ears. And in fact, the story is told that he was born up in the where the Colorado River flows through the Green River, Utah area. His family occupied all of this area. And when the white settlers began to come into the areas, he was one of the war chiefs in that led many raids to try to discourage the settlers. And so there were lots of skirmishes in that took place with various settlers that came into the area uninvited up in this part of Dinétah. And later on it would become known as Diné. And that was a very large area. And this is one of the main places in that people collected herbs of every kind, which is still available now. The San Juan River flows to the south of us about maybe 10 miles away, and it cuts east and west as it flows down into the Colorado River further down. And the land area from here, there are a lot of uranium mines up in this area. Just right down here, below the Bear's Ears, are a whole bunch of uranium mines. I think they referred to them as the Hyatt mines, which were strictly for mining uranium. And that's on the north side of the San Juan River. But there's a lot of uranium mines in that have not been covered up that are south of the river. This area has so much history. Back in the latter 60s, I used to come up here and hunt. And I had the opportunity to take game, deer, from this area. I did come up here and I did take my walk up to the Bear's Ears and explored all of the areas. And I did find some traces of Navajo people that had lived in the area and such places where sweat lodges were built. And I could find the places where rocks were the only thing you could actually tell that they were at one time Navajo people that occupied the area. So the Diné, any place that you can find the rocks and that, the ones that break up and the ones that can't be used anymore, they generally take it off to the direction west. And the new rock that is still going to be used in that was to the east of the entryway. So I was always able to find the sites that there were sweat lodges, and there were several of them. Also, I found the remnants of places where Hogans had been built, and today I can't find traces of them. So I look in a lot of these areas and it looks like the intentional clearing of some of the grounds and that, probably some kind of conservation efforts to eliminate some of these juniper trees and pinon pine trees to make it so that the vegetation would be able to use more of the moisture in that's available. And also this area, because of the many hundreds of years that the Diné lived up in this area, there are a lot of different remains of pottery and other Indian artifacts. And there was a lot of controversy back in the 60s about pot hunters, which is the non-native people that would come up in here and dig into the ground around here and trying to locate remains of Navajo or Dinétah dwellings from way in the past. And they would find such things as grinding stones and pots and so on. They were taking those and selling them off into foreign countries. It's kind of disgraceful in that, because even over here in San Juan County, there was a county commissioner and his family that were eventually convicted of pot hunting and so on. There was a lot of people that took a lot of advantages of the things that were available here. And then, of course, in recent years, the hiding of where our people used to live and occupy the land area. Many places where there were Navajo dwellings and that are no more. And I was talking to some of our elders before they passed away. They said that their families lived up here, and they told me where they had built homes and that. And I went and looked. I could see only and detect only small areas of where there were still places where there were poles that were put into the ground. And so this area has a lot of history that goes back many hundreds of years. The land area being called the Dinétah is very important. Later on, the word for the land area was called the Dinétah. And so this was the area, the traditional ancestral lands of the Dinétah. And those are the things that we are told.
Hey, thanks for watching our videos. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss one of our uploads. Also, head over to our website, NavajoTraditionalTeachings.com. Sign up for our email list. Okay.